The internet is officially in shambles again. And this time it all circles back to one name that always manages to light a match in the middle of chaos: Karlissa. Because somehow, out of nowhere, she's smiling online like she just watched the entire Blueface universe reset itself like a reality TV hard reboot. Blueface and Stunna Girl reunited. Yes, that sentence alone is already setting timelines on fire. And Karlissa, she's not just reacting, she's celebrating it like it's a holiday season finale nobody saw coming. But here's where things go from interesting to hold up. Something is not adding up, because while Karlissa is posting messages of joy, encouragement, and what fans are calling unexpected positivity energy, the internet is zooming in like detectives on a Netflix crime doc trying to figure out one question: why now? And just when people thought the drama couldn't get more layered, she drops a message directed at Nevaeh. And Nevaeh. A message so loaded, so oddly timed, so cryptic in tone that fans immediately stopped laughing and started screenshotting. Because in celebrity drama physics, nothing is ever just a message. It's either a warning, a hint, or the opening line of a new episode nobody was ready for. And now the timeline is split in two. One half is saying Karlissa is simply happy about peace returning to chaos. The other half is convinced this is the combi for another emotional explosion involving Blueface's ever-expanding reality TV level life saga. Memes are flooding in. Reaction videos are multiplying. Twitter is treating this like a Marvel post-credit scene that might reveal a new villain. And the worst part? Nobody can agree on what Nevaeh's message really meant. Support, shade, closure, strategy, or something deeper happening behind the scenes that fans aren't supposed to see yet. Because right as the internet starts decoding every word, a new detail surfaces that completely flips the energy again. Something that makes people pause mid-scroll, rewind everything, and ask the question that changes the entire narrative. Is this reunion really about love, peace, and growth? Or is it the beginning of a brand new cycle of chaos disguised as reconciliation? And just when it feels like we're getting answers, the backstory of this entire situation doesn't begin today. It begins in layers. Layers of public relationships, on-again, off-again tension, reality show-level drama, and a fanbase that has watched every twist like a serialized Netflix experiment. Blueface has always existed in a space where music, controversy, and personal life blur into one ongoing storyline. Nothing stays contained. Everything eventually becomes content. And Karlissa, she's been one of the most vocal presences around that world, reacting, responding, defending, and sometimes even escalating conversations that were already burning at full intensity. So when the internet sees her suddenly celebrating a reunion involving Blueface and Stunna Girl, people don't just take it as a casual update. They treat it like a major narrative shift. Because in this universe, reunions don't happen quietly. They happen with screenshots, clips, live reactions, and comment sections moving faster than official statements. Before this moment, the timeline had already been messy. Fans were divided over past tensions, rumored disagreements, and social media exchanges that fueled non-stop speculation. Every interaction was dissected. Every unfollow was analyzed. Every post was turned into a possible storyline clue. And then came silence phases, those brief moments where everything goes quiet, which somehow always means something is about to erupt again. So when Karlissa reappears with what looks like positivity surrounding Blueface and Stunna Girl reconnecting, it doesn't just feel like news, it feels like a shift in the entire ecosystem. But the internet, being the internet, immediately started asking uncomfortable questions. Was this reconciliation planned? Was it spontaneous? Or was it something happening behind the scenes that fans are only now being allowed to see the surface of? Then things escalated further when attention turned toward her message for Nevaeh, because that message didn't land like a typical supportive post. It landed like a coded sentence, not aggressive but not neutral either, not loud but not quiet. The kind of message that sits in the middle space where interpretation runs wild. And that's exactly what Happened.comment sections turned into decoding zones. Fans debated tone, word choice, timing, emoji placement. Everything became evidence. Some believed it was simply a motherly, grounded message aimed at peace and clarity. Others felt it carried undertone subtext that only makes sense if you've been following the entire saga from the beginning. And that's the problem with this universe. Nothing exists in isolation. Every statement is tied to history. Every reaction is tied to memory. Every post is tied to a previous conflict, whether people admit it or not. Meanwhile, Blueface and Stunna Girl's alleged reconnection became its own separate firestorm. Clips resurfaced. Old interactions were reposted. Fans started building timelines like they were reconstructing a documentary archive. And instead of one clear narrative, the internet got multiple competing versions of reality. One version says, "This is maturity." Another says, "This is strategic reconciliation." Another says, "This is temporary peace before another wave hits." And all of them feel believable in their own way. That's what makes it chaotic. Because in entertainment culture, perception often matters more than confirmation. Then came the memes. 1. Viral post compared the situation to a WWE storyline where enemies shake hands before immediately throwing chairs off camera. Another said it feels like Marvel introducing a surprise alliance right before the final battle sequence. And honestly, those comparisons weren't even exaggerated anymore. They were just how people understood the pacing of the drama. Because nothing in this timeline moves slowly. Everything escalates, reacts, and loops back into itself. And Karlissa, intentionally or not, became the center point of this new chapter, not as a passive observer but as someone whose reactions now shape the tone of the entire conversation. And that's where tension starts building again, because once the internet assigns meaning to your reaction, you lose control of the narrative. The escalation didn't come from one single moment. It came from the internet collectively deciding that this situation deserved full attention. Within hours, clips, reactions, commentary breakdowns, and analysis videos started flooding every platform. Karlissa's celebration post alone became a full debate thread. Some viewers read it as pure happiness, someone genuinely relieved to see peace return to a chaotic environment. Others zoomed in on every detail like it was evidence in a courtroom drama titled State versus Social Media, the Blueface universe, and then the Nevaeh message. That's when things fully spiraled, because fans didn't just read it, they interpreted it. Every sentence was broken down like it contained hidden meaning. Every tone was debated like it had emotional subtext. And every possible interpretation was turned into a separate viral theory. Meanwhile, Blueface and Stunna Girl's reunion rumors became the perfect fuel for meme culture. One viral edit showed them as characters returning in Season 5 after being written off in Season 3. Another compared the situation to Zeus Network producers accidentally merging two chaotic storylines into one mega episode. And that comparison stuck because it actually made sense in the most chaotic way possible. Even unrelated creators started weighing in, turning the situation into commentary gold. Reaction streams ran for hours, breakdown clips multiplied. And TikTok edits made it feel like an entire cinematic universe had just rebooted overnight. But the most interesting part wasn't the humor, it was the contradiction. Because while memes were exploding, serious conversations were also happening underneath. Some fans genuinely questioned whether public figures ever get space for peaceful resolution without it becoming entertainment. Others argued that visibility is part of the lifestyle they chose the spotlight, so the spotlight reacts. And both arguments kept colliding. Meanwhile, Karlissa's role in all of this kept expanding in perception. To some, she was a voice of support navigating a complicated situation. To others, she was a catalyst whose reactions unintentionally fueled timeline chaos. And that duality is what made the situation so magnetic. because nobody could agree on her position in the story. Then came comparisons because the internet always escalates through analogy. People started comparing this entire saga to Kardashian-level family dynamics, reality TV backstage drama, and even Marvel-style character arcs where alliances constantly shift before the final showdown. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. This isn't drama anymore. This is a rotating storyline with character upgrades and surprise reunions. And somehow, that became the most accurate description of the entire situation. But just when the internet thought it had categorized everything, a new wave of reactions started appearing. Short clips, subtle reposts, cryptic comments from unrelated accounts, nothing direct but enough to reignite speculation. And suddenly, the narrative shifted again, because now people weren't just analyzing the reunion or Karlissa's reaction. They were questioning timing. Why now? Why this moment? Why this combination of people at this exact point in the timeline? And those questions don't come with easy answers. They come with theories. The aftermath of everything didn't bring closure, it expanded the confusion instead of a clean resolution. The situation evolved into a layered conversation about perception, timing, and public interpretation. Karlissa's message, which initially seemed straightforward, now exists in multiple interpretations depending on who you ask. Supporters still see positivity, a mother navigating complexity with grace and emotional balance. Critics still see ambiguity, a message that feels intentionally open-ended in a world that thrives on decoding ambiguity. And the internet, it's stuck in the middle, refreshing for updates that may or may not change anything. Meanwhile, Blueface and Stunna Girl's reunion remains the central focal point. But even that has shifted from confirmed event to ongoing speculation. Narrative, because nothing stays stable in this ecosystem for long. Every update creates 3 new questions. Every clarification creates 2 new theories. And every silence creates 10 assumptions. That's the cycle. And now, attention has started shifting toward what comes next. Because in these storylines, reunion is never the ending, it's the setup. Fans are already predicting the next wave of posts, reactions, and possible responses from everyone involved. Some expect more public clarification, some expect complete silence, and some expect another unexpected twist that resets everything again. But what's most interesting is how emotionally invested the audience has become, not just in the people, but in the narrative itself. It's no longer about individuals. It's about storyline progression. And that's where things become unpredictable. Because when real-life dynamics start being consumed like episodic content, reality and entertainment begin to blur beyond recognition. Then came the final layer of tension. Unexpected commentary surfacing from secondary voices connected to the broader circle. Not confirmations, just hints, reactions, and vague statements that reignited discussion across platforms. And just like that, the internet was back in theory mode. Was this all organic reconciliation? So now we're at that point where the internet is doing what it does best, turning a reunion, a reaction, and a message into a full-blown cinematic universe with fan theories, breakdown threads, and way too many insider takes from people who were definitely not in the room. Classic. One side is celebrating it like it's a peaceful season finale, where everyone finally hugs it out and walks into the sunset. The other side is side-eyeing everything like it's a mid-season plot twist waiting to collapse in episode 6. And Karlissa, she's sitting right in the middle of it all, trending without even trying, while comment sections behave like they're solving emotional algebra equations nobody assigned. Now, be honest, you've definitely got an opinion on this one. So drop it in the comments. Is this genuine reconciliation energy, or the calm before another timeline explosion nobody saw coming? And don't be shy either way. Know the internet detectives are in full force today. Now smash that like button like it owes you money. Because apparently engagement decides whether peace or chaos wins the algorithm war. And if you're new here, welcome to the madness where every simple update turns into a multi-episode storyline with plot twists nobody approved. Hit subscribe if you want more breakdowns that feel like reality TV. Twitter wars and behind-the-scenes chaos all rolled into one continuous narrative. Because let's be real, this story isn't slowing down anytime soon. New reactions, new interpretations, new twists, they always drop when the timeline gets comfortable. And when they do, you already know where to find the full breakdown. This has been Celeb SYNC, and the next episode is already loading.